What does that number there mean?
10.
It means 1, 1. And this means 1, 10. So of course 10 plus 1 is 11. In base 8, I'll have a 1's place. But I want to have a 10's place, I'll have, of course, an 8's place. So the number that's here tells me how many 8's I have. This is the way I try to approach this, because it's a nice physical thing to keep in mind. It makes sense. It's kind of like an odometer. If I have a little odometer, it's going to click over. Every time I fill up one of these, it's going to click over. So if I have one full one of these, what would that look like? If I have one full carton. One full carton. Careful. Be careful. What would that look like? That means how many cartons do I have full? One. How many loose eggs do I have? None. You guys kind of with me? No. Shoot. No, I don't want you. Just keep an eye. Just remember the eggs right now, because we're going to slowly try to get away from this eggs example. But what does this place represent? Loose eggs, right? And do you kind of see how it relates to single digits? If I get 10 digits together, that makes a full 10 for base 10. If I get 8 eggs together, that makes a full carton, right? So loose eggs are just like digits, single digits. Full cartons are collections of 8 eggs, right? So if I have one full carton, that means I have one full carton. How many loose eggs do I have? None. There's no loose eggs, right? So if I had 8 eggs, I could put them all into one carton. Do I have any extras? No. So why does this numeral, 10 for us, represents what? It represents 10. It represents the number 10, right? It means 10 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And base 8, how many things does this symbol represent? 8. Why? Because it's base 8. This is always a single digits place. So I have no single digits. I have 1, 8. Right? So if I had base 7, what would this represent? 7. I'd have 1, 7, and no 1s, no single digits, right? Now, I'm not trying to make this, I desperately want to make this easy, but it actually, in a way, won't be easy, because it's making you step out of something you've done ever since you were born. But I love it, because you guys maybe never realized that this is possible. It doesn't have to be base 10. That's something we totally made up. The number 10 is special to us because that's how we set our number system up. It's not special, period. Right? Aliens wouldn't come and say, 10, we think it's amazing too. No. If they had 12 fingers, they'd have base 12. What would 1, 0 mean for them if they had 12 fingers? 12. 1, 12, no 1s. And they would be like, what the hell's your deal with 10? 12 is the thing. You know, whatever. Right? I don't know if that'd be our first conversation, but hope not. All right. Let me see. Let me take the next step up. What if I had, what would one full carton be? How many eggs would that be?
8.
Yeah, because crate. My bad. These words start with the same letters. Throw them in. One full crate. So it'd be 8 cartons fit in there, and each carton has 8 eggs, so of course 64. Cool? That'd be 64 eggs. How could I represent that as a number then? As a odometer thing?
100.
Exactly. There'd be one full crate, no cartons loose, right? Because I put all the cartons into that crate, and no loose eggs. So one full crate, no loose cartons, no loose eggs. Yeah. So here's the connection I want to make. I wish I had it. Okay. In base 10, here's the decimal place, right? What place is this? The ones place. What place is this? Tens. What place is this? 10 squared, 100. The hundreds place, right? What place is this? 10 cubed, the thousands place. And incredibly enough, it keeps going like that forever. We have a base 10 system, so every time we step over, it's a step of 10. Because every time we collect 10 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, rolls over to 1, 0 now, right? That's the idea. What would base 8 look like? Here's the decimal. What place is this? Ones, careful. It always starts at the ones place. In fact, that's like 8 to the 0 power. Oh, shit. What's a 0 power mean again? 1. 10 to the 0 place, 10 to the first place, 10 squared, 10 cubed. Because every time I take a step, I multiply by 10 in base 10. So incredibly enough, every time I take a step in base 8, I multiply by 8. This will be the 8th place. This will be the 8 squared, 64's place. This would be the 8 cubed, 5 12. 5 12's place. So let me ask you this. Here we go.
I like 10 better. It's just so much round.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason it's round is because this symbol for us represents 10. 8, in base 8, there would actually be no symbol 8. Okay. So in base 10, do we need a symbol for 10? One symbol for 10. How many symbols does it take to write 10? 2. So in base 8, how many symbols does it take to write 8? We already know that. 2. 1, 8, no ones. Right? So this is base 8.
So what numbers would they lose?
What would they lose? 8 and 9, wouldn't they? So in base 10, how many single digits do we need? Up to 9. In base 8, how many single digits do we need? Up to 7. Right? 1 through 7. Well, 0 through 7, really. Right? Why don't we need a symbol for 8? Because that's when the odometer rolls over, isn't it? Why do we not need a single symbol for 10? Because the odometer rolls, once I reach 9, the next thing will roll the next thing over. Once I reach 99, the next one would roll over to 100, right? But what happens for base 8? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you have no ones and 1, 8. Right? And then we'll keep going from there, 11, 12, up to 17. And then you have 2 and 0, and so forth. And again, let it kind of sink in. This is going to take a little while to get...
No, that makes sense
jive.
now.
Okay. I'm slowly converting a few people over.
Makes sense. How do we use it?
Okay, here's how you use it. I love that. You're like, some of you guys are like, what the hell, what the hell? Okay, I get it, now use it. All right, so what if I had a number like, let's say 1, 2, 5 in base 8? How could I convert that back to base 10 so we can make sense of this number? What does each place represent? I often call that spy hangman game here. The 1 is there, the 2 is there, and the 5 is there. Since it's base 8, well, what place is this always? The 1's place. No matter what the base is, that's the 1's place. What place is that for base 8? 8. 8 to the first, that's 8. What place is this? 8 to the second, which is 64. Right? And why is base 10 so easy? Because you've been doing it your whole freaking life. So do you even have to think? 10 squared is 100. What's the next place then? Oh, it's 10 times 10 squared. You don't have to do that because you know what it is. How long have you been using base 8? I don't know. Last few minutes? So yeah, you've got to write it out for yourself, right? Now the minute I start writing the symbol though, I already kind of in base 10. There's no symbol 8 in base 8. But I'm trying to change this to our base to see what the hell it is. So how many 64s does this number have? It has 1 64. See? One of these. 1 64. Plus how many 8s? 2 8s. Plus how many 1s? 5 1s. Now believe it or not, this is what you guys did in like 2nd grade or something with base 10. Remember expanded form? You had to write 3,540 was 3 times 1,000 plus 5 times 100. You know. Do you ever have to do that again? No. You've forgotten that you ever have to do it until I said so. Base 8. Shit, we're now like elementary students again. Right? Trying to learn this new funky alien base 8 thing. are alien overlords with 8 fingers and saying, you will learn base 8, or we will eat you. Like, all right, give me base 8. Right? So now let's put this back together. 164 plus 2 8s is 16, plus 5, 85.
That's the answer?
That's the answer. That's what this symbol is in base 8. This is what it looks like in base 10. Now base 10, I don't have to put a little 10 there. I just know if there's nothing there, I know it's our base. When I put a little number here, that's the base it is. Right? So on one basic level, base 10 is 1, 10 to the first, 10 squared, 10 cubed. 8, base 8, 1, 8 to the first, 8 squared, 8 cubed, forever. What's base 3 look like? 9, blah, 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 blah. So on one basic level, going from another base to our base is stupid easy. Stupid easy.
Not when I was in high school, we taught it. What?
Oh, they taught you this before?
Yeah, they taught, yeah.
Sweet.
It was like algebra 2. We
You gotta watch
taught
out,
that,
right? You
and
gotta-
I didn't get it.
Everybody's gonna go, oh, he knows what's going on. It didn't make sense?
It didn't make
So
sense.
watch this, watch this.
My
Oh,
teacher didn't make.
I kind of want you guys to be with me here. What about 324 base 6? Try to set that up. Try to figure out what that is in our base. And a real quick word about base 6. What's the largest single digit you should see in base? 6 is this digit 5, right? Because 6 would be 1, 0, 1, 6, no ones, right? So base 10 only needs up to 9. Any base only needs up to 1 less than that base. So I have to be careful when I write this, not to put a... We'll see.
So we don't do what we just did with the other one?
We do exactly the same thing. Because this is in base 6. So you can set up your places. One of these is going to work. Oh, here's this one. 324, what's this place? The 1's place. This is the 6's place.
6 to the second.
And this is 6 squared 36 place, right?
36, yeah.
So how many 36s do we have? 3 36s plus 2 6s plus a 4.
Oh.
Right?
124.
I guess do it.
Oh,
So what is that? 108 plus 12 plus 4. Yeah, so 124.
this is good.
Now, so on one level, this is just like multiply and add. Okay, you know, and that's good. On one level, this is just multiply and add. But I really want you to get, if our base was base 6, we only had 3 fingers. I guess it'd be these 3. You guys ever seen the old War of the Worlds? I think they had these
Oh, yeah.
3
Yes.
big things and the suckers on it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You remember that?
Oh.
I don't mean to be insensitive to our alien overlords, but if they saw this, if they said, you know, hey Frank, that's an alien name. I need this many chairs for this thing I'm doing later. This many chairs would show up, right? Because this to them would mean this number. This numeral for them represents this number, right? And even for us, we know what that represents just because we've been using it our whole life. So if they were brought up in base 6, they'd take one look at this and know exactly what it meant, just like when we look at this, we know exactly what it means, right?
Sure.
So,
It's
yes,
like converting feet to yards.
on one level it is, exactly. On the technical how to change it over, it is. The bigger thing I want you to get, though, is that this is a valid numeral by itself. It means this. It just doesn't say this because it's in a different base, right? So by itself, it means something. Yeah.
Will we ever have like a 4-digit number?
Say again?
Will we ever have like a 4-digit number?
Oh, hell yeah. Right? I would just have to go this time 6 to get the next one up, right? I could have an 18-digit number, right? Would I do that? Probably not.
You're not
Real quick,
smart than you.
base 6, in base 6, how do I say 6? What would 6 be in base 6? I mean, 6, yeah, 6 in base 6
10-6.
would be, careful,
10.
1 0.
1-0.